Welcome to 10-Minute English Stories. Let's learn English with a story that might change the way you see your life. He had everything. A big house, a luxury car, a bank account most people only dream about. But one night, he sat alone on the floor of his empty bedroom, and he cried. Why? That is the question this story will answer. And trust me, the answer will surprise you. This is the story of a man named Jake. Jake was 38 years old. He lived in a big city called Dallas, Texas. Jake grew up poor. His family had very little money. Some nights, they didn't even have enough food. Jake always told himself one thing: if I get rich, everything will be okay. So Jake worked. He worked harder than anyone around him. He skipped dinners. He missed birthdays. He gave up sleep. And after many years of hard work, Jake became very, very rich. He had a beautiful house with 5 bedrooms. He drove a black Mercedes. He wore expensive suits. He had $2 million in his bank. From the outside, Jake's life looked perfect. But something was very wrong. One Friday evening, Jake came home after a long day of work. He opened the front door. The house was quiet. Too quiet. He walked to the kitchen. No smell of food, no music, no voices. He sat down at the big dining table, alone. He called his wife, Sarah. No answer. He called again. Still no answer. Jake went to the bedroom. On the bed, he saw a small note. He picked it up with shaking hands. The note said, "Jake, I can't do this anymore. I tried. You chose money over us, over me, over the kids. I'm sorry. Goodbye." Jake read it again and again. He sat down on the floor. He didn't move for a long time. His wife was gone. His 2 children, gone. His family, gone. And all he had left was money. That night, Jake realized something terrible. He had been chasing the wrong thing his whole life. The next few weeks were dark for Jake. He stopped going to work. He stopped eating properly. He stopped sleeping. His phone rang all day with business calls, but he didn't pick up. He just sat in that big empty house, alone. His friends tried to visit, but Jake didn't open the door. He thought money would protect him. He thought money would make people stay, but he was wrong. One morning, Jake looked in the mirror. He didn't recognize himself. His eyes were red. His face was thin. He had lost weight. He looked broken. He whispered to himself, "I have everything, and I have nothing." That sentence hit him like a wave. He sat back down on the floor. This time, he cried, for the first time in many, many years. He cried for his wife. He cried for his children. He cried for all the birthdays he missed. He cried for the dinners he skipped. He cried for the man he had become. And then, something strange happened. The next morning, Jake woke up early. He didn't know why. He put on simple clothes, not his expensive suit, just jeans and a plain shirt. He walked outside. He walked and walked with no direction. He ended up in a small park near his house. It was a quiet morning. Birds were singing. The air was cool and fresh. Jake sat down on a bench. He put his head in his hands. Then he heard a voice next to him. "You look like a man who has lost something important." Jake looked up. An old man was sitting beside him. The man had white hair. His clothes were simple. His shoes were old. But his eyes were warm and bright. Jake didn't know what to say, so he told the truth. "I lost my family," Jake said quietly. The old man nodded slowly. "I see," he said. "And why did you lose them?" Jake thought for a moment. "Because of work," Jake said. "Because of money." The old man looked at the trees in front of them. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that Jake didn't expect. "Tell me something. When your children were young, did they ever ask for your time?" Jake felt something move in his chest. "Yes," he said softly. "All the time." "And what did you give them?" Jake looked down. "Toys, games, money for school trips." The old man shook his head slowly. "That is not what they were asking for." Jake stared at the ground. The old man continued, "I was like you once. I was a businessman. I worked every day. I told my family, wait, 1 more year, then I'll have time. But that year never came." Jake looked at the old man. "What happened?" he asked. The old man smiled, but it was a sad smile. "My wife passed away 7 years ago, and my last words to her the day before were said from my office phone while I was reading emails." The silence between them was heavy. "I never got to say goodbye properly," the old man said. Jake felt a pain in his heart, but the old man wasn't finished. "But here is what I learned, son. It is not too late for you." Jake looked up. "What do you mean?" The old man looked at him correctly. "You are still breathing. Your children are still alive. Your wife, she didn't say she hates you. She said she can't do this anymore. There is a difference. Can't means there is still something there. Hate means it's over." Jake blinked. He had never thought of it that way. "The question is not what you lost," the old man said. "The question is, who are you willing to become?" Jake went home that day, but he didn't go back to his old life. He called a therapist. For the first time in his life, he asked for help. He started going to therapy every week. He started learning about himself, why he worked so hard, why he was scared to slow down, why he used money to feel safe. Slowly, he began to understand. He was running from pain, the pain of growing up poor, the fear of going back to that life, the fear of not being enough. He had spent his whole life trying to prove something. But to who? Nobody asked him to be rich. His family just wanted him. After 2 months, Jake called Sarah. She didn't pick up at first. He tried again the next week. This time, she answered. Jake's voice was quiet and calm. "I'm not calling to ask you to come back," he said. "I just want to say, I'm sorry for everything. I see it now. I really do." Sarah was silent for a while. Then she said, "Jake, I see you're trying." That was enough for now. Jake spent the next few months becoming a better person. He reduced his work hours. He started exercising. He started cooking simple meals at home. He started noticing the small things, the sunset, the birds, the cool morning air. He started visiting his children on weekends. At first, they were a little shy around him. He was almost a stranger. But slowly, with time, with patience, with real presence, they started to warm up. One Sunday afternoon, his 7-year-old daughter Maya climbed onto his lap. She put her small arms around him, and she said, "Daddy, I missed you." He held her close. He didn't say a word, but inside, something healed, something that all the money in the world could never have fixed. Jake still has his money, but now money is just a tool. It is not his goal. It is not his identity. It is not his happiness. He learned something simple but powerful. You cannot buy time back. You cannot buy presence. You cannot buy real love. The most valuable things in life are the things that have no price. Fix your mind before you chase more money. Fix your heart before you build your career. Fix yourself before it's too late. Because one day you will sit in a big house, and the only question that will matter is this: did I love the right things? Thank you so much for listening. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like this video, subscribe to 10-Minute English Stories, and remember, you are learning English, but more than that, you are learning life. See you in the next story.